Hello, my name is Blake Newhouse, and you are listening to the Sober Living Podcast, a mini-series podcast that will explore the world of those living in drug addiction recovery. This week's guest is Anthony Workman, who said his motto is, "If you got it, give it." The 35-year-old just completed his 90th day of sobriety, a lifestyle he pursued after his most recent overdose this past summer. Once a both crystal meth user and heroin, Workman is now trying to find joy elsewhere in the world, finding it a little bit easier than he thought. I came across Workman at the Harris Riverfront Park in Huntington, West Virginia. He told me the next day would be his 90th day of sobriety, a decision he chose to pursue after his most recent overdose this past summer. Workman was quiet and soft-spoken, but out of the people I tried to talk to throughout the day, he was by far the most open. He explained to me how much he wanted to get out of his hometown of Charleston, West Virginia, saying that Huntington not only offered more resources for people trying to beat addiction, but that it allowed him to change his environment, bring a new sense of clarity into his mind. He said he left Charleston because his old girlfriend hooked up with his best friend, and they started using drugs together in the same house while he was trying to remain clean. He didn't seem upset, and he wasn't angry. If anything, he seemed worried about his two friends. But he said that to change his environment was the only way he was truly going to get clean. Workman's motto, which he told me over and over again, is, "If you got it, give it," and he's sure it simplifies this. As I ended our conversation, walking away after exchanging numbers, he began passing out his leftover Chinese food to a man beside us. With a large trash bag huddled over his face, he simply asked him if he needed any help. The compassion that Workman showed is something that we can all take something from. In times where people are struggling, whether it's because of the pandemic or drug addiction or abuse or trauma or whatever, we can help out other people. If you got it, give it.
Repeat that again.
What is like some misconceptions? Some people, they have this belief that maybe homeless people might be like this or drug addicts might act this way, but it's really not true. It's one of those things that gets exacerbated. And people say it all the time, but it's not.
See, my point of what they're looking at is how these people are going about doing what they're doing. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say what they're doing is right, going in, stealing to get their fix and things like that. And that's where I was, coming in and saying that we need to come together as a community to try to help these people, at least show them that there is a better way. It's up to them themselves to make that decision. But if you give them the opportunity, either going to rehab or going to jail, I mean, if you gave me that opportunity, I'm going to pick rehab before I go to jail. At least it gives you a place to live, at least puts food in your belly, and at least gives you a hope and a chance on fighting this. Because I've been in active addiction for 20-some years, man, and I've gotten 89 days today. Tomorrow I get my 90 days in, man, and it's like the best feeling. I was at Ritter Park a couple of weeks back, and I was watching squirrels do all kinds of flips and stuff, and I'm like, wow, I've really never noticed that, because my face is always to the ground trying to find my next high if I'm going to step on something or trying to find somewhere else I'm going to rob. But, my point of view is don't look at them as bad. Look at them as a lost soul that you can try to at least help. Don't put them in your home, but at least help them outside your home. If you see somebody on the street, give them a blanket. If you see them hungry, go take them, buy them something to eat. Show that you are a true kind person. Because at the end of the day, when we go to judgment by Jesus is going to judge us, and he's going to open that book, and he's going to say, this is what you didn't do, and this is what you did do. Your didn't do's are going to overwrite your did do's, because what we're doing now on earth reflects us in heaven. God says, like I said, if you got it, give it. If you don't, it's all right. But at least you can try to do something right for somebody. I mean, open the arm up. I mean, listen to their stories. It'll break your heart, some of them stories you hear, like prostitution, man. These people have been doing this because either they've been molested or they had no families, to love them. So they're out there looking for that extra love and stuff, I like helping out with the community. And like I said, I want to open my organization, and my organization is going to be called God Cares. You know, and it's going to be like a shelter to where people can come in, they can pick out some clothes, you know, there'll be like a bed there to lay your head there, rest yourself, man. Just give back to the community, because that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
You know, to show them that there is a way, there's hope, and the hope is through Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, pretty much that's my personal belief is stop judging others, because Jesus said, "Those without sin may he cast the first stone."
Right.
So we all have sinned, one way or another, whether it's one sin or two sins or small sin. It's all a sin, no matter what you look at it. So, you know, stop judging and start helping.
For sure.
I mean, because all you're doing is making it worse for yourself. You're showing ignorance when you could go, okay, well, I can help this person and feel good about yourself at the same time, man.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, it's the meaning of life, really, at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, you know, I think that's what everybody's striving for, is to feel that meaning. And I think when you help others out, when you start doing that shit, that's when you start to, like, it starts to come about, and you start to really see it. Or even, like, noticing the small things, like you're saying, just sitting at the park watching the squirrels. Like, I've never battled real addiction, but I'm a heavy pot smoker, and it was within the last month, I swore it off for a month. I said, I'm going to go without anything. And I know it's not the, you know, same, but just not having any drugs in my system whatsoever, being out and, like, watching, like, you're just watching squirrels or watching the nature of the leaves. There's something so simplistic about it, but it's so meaningful too, at the same time.
Because, see, what we're doing is we're taking, even pot, we're taking that and we're using it to to cloud our head on reality, because we can't face reality. So what we do is we go for drugs to help us cope with life. When honestly, no matter what you do, tomorrow's going to come and you're still going to have the same issues knocking at the door going, hey, I'm still here. I never went nowhere. So instead, just go and face up to it. My grandmother's favorite saying is, it's not the person you are when you go through the storm, it's the person you are when you come out of that storm.
For sure.
You know, we all have our hard times, man. But the thing is just what you do through them hard times make a difference. And that's something I strive for, to make difference, not just for myself, but for people that's out here in addiction, or people who are on the street, because we're all the same, man.
Yeah.
We bleed. Black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, it doesn't matter. We all bleed the same color. God just made us all different, speak different languages. Is because the fact of the matter is if we all understood each other, then we'd all be in trouble.
It's a good way to think about it.